This one-of-a-kind dry erase board designed specifically for woodworkers that want to utilize shop space was completely built using my desktop CNC router. On the bottom you'll find every woodworker's favorite storage solution, French cleats, and in the middle there's a built-in shelf for all your writing supplies. The best part about this project though is that if you pull this handle at the top, it reveals a completely different writing surface. Let me show you how I made it. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the shop, and if you haven't been here before, my name's Justin and this is AquaVitaeWoodworks. On this channel I like to build various projects using my desktop CNC router, which you can see behind me, and hopefully teach those of you at home how to make them yourself. Whether you're here to try to make these projects for your own enjoyment or even to try to sell them to make a buck or two at local craft fairs or other types of venues, that's totally up to you. I just think that YouTube is a really fun way to create new designs and then share them with all of you at home. That being said, if you do have a CNC machine and want to make these projects yourself, I tried to make it as easy as possible for you to do so. Normally when you purchase CNC files online, you get downloadable SVG files, but you have no idea how to assign specific toolpaths for each vector. I really pride myself on making extremely detailed plans that eliminate all the guesswork in CNC projects. In order to make your life easier, I spend a ton of hours making not only the SVG files as accurate as possible, but I also make a separate PDF download that goes over everything you'll need to know from required materials, hardware, and even assembly instructions. But not only that, my PDF build instructions will go over step by step on how to assign specific toolpaths for each vector. If that sounds interesting to you, the link to purchase the build manual for today's project, as well as all my other designs, can be found in the video description down below. I really appreciate the support. It goes a long way to help me stay motivated to keep making these videos, and hopefully I keep improving upon them every time I make one. But now that my sales pitch is out of the way, let's actually go build something. Today we're working on a much needed shop upgrade in terms of utilizing this door space a little bit more efficiently. This door leads to my backyard, and currently the only thing attached to it is this tiny little whiteboard. I use this mostly to jot down custom orders, future video ideas, as well as draw little pictures of things that pop into my head while I'm working out in the shop. In order to give myself a little bit more room to write, as well as utilize this door space underneath it, I think I came up with a pretty unique design that hopefully should work. I guess we'll find out. When we jump into SketchUp, which is my favorite 3D modeling program, you'll see that the design that I came up with takes up a whole lot more of the door space. This allowed me to make the main writing surface a whole lot larger and also make room for a built-in shelf that's completely carved on the CNC and assembled using pockets. And underneath those two features, I have every woodworker's favorite storage solution, French cleats. Now I know that right off the bat, a lot of you are going to yell at me for using French cleats on a door that is obviously going to open and close. My answer to that is that I'm only planning on storing small parts and tools in these locations, and when I make these storage holders for them, I'll just make sure that they don't move anywhere, and I'll put a screw into the French cleat so they don't slide around. So don't worry about it. What you should worry about is the coolest feature of this project, which is the fact that if I grab this handle at the top and pull it, it releases a spring mechanism which reveals a completely separate writing surface. This allows me to double the writing area without actually increasing the footprint on the door. Now to show you how that mechanism is actually going to work, I ended up making this prototype as a proof of concept. Imagine that this thin piece of wood is representing the front writing surface of our whiteboard. This other thin piece will represent the back writing surface, which will be attached to the main frame of the project. You'll see that on this front writing surface, there's two wooden dowels that stick out the back, and if I pull on this handle, they retract into itself. What that means is that when these dowels are sticking out the back, they will go into holes in this back surface, and it won't be able to slide up and down. When I retract them, this will be able to slide freely, and you can move and reveal the back surface. Let me take this apart so I can show you what's inside this handle. After unscrewing that front cover, you'll notice that there are CNC carved pockets that hold the dowels, a small compression spring, as well as a metal nail that holds it in place. The way this works is that the mechanism always wants to stay closed, so it'll snap shut and hold the board in place once it reaches the correct point. I think that this mechanism is going to look really sharp once the project is complete, but now that we finalized our design, let's actually go cut down our material and get it on the machine. And obviously, because I'm not really a real woodworker, I go to the best lumberyard in town, my local big box store. Cutting down this material is pretty straightforward. The only thing that is not cut on the machine is going to be our French cleats, but you all should know how to make those anyway because, well, you're a woodworker. Now that everything's cut down to size, we can put them on the machine and start carving all of our components. For the sake of saving time for this video, I'm not going to go over how to assign toolpaths for each component because the build manuals that I mentioned earlier do go over all of that in extreme detail. Instead, I'll just show you a quick montage of each component carving as well as a few facts about them. So let's go check it out. Now that everything's carved, I'm going to show you some of the mistakes that I made while I made these components. First of which is on this front panel. The first thing that you'll notice is that on the top and bottom of this component, there are some tool marks where the bit didn't retract high enough while going to the next pocket. The reason that happened is because when I first carved this component on the other side, I somehow flipped my G-code upside down and carved the pockets upside down. So in order to fix that, I had to flip the piece over, which then made a bow in the middle, which you can kind of see there. It's facing like this, which means that the bit wasn't retract high enough. It's not the end of the world. This is shop furniture, so let's move on with our lives. Let me show you the other mistake I made. This is the back writing surface, and you'll notice that there are some small drill marks around the edges, and that's where I made my mistake. I tried to secure this to the machine using clamps, but my bit ended up crashing into it and snapping in half. So in order to fix that, I had to start over and just use double-sided tape. So note to self, just use double-sided tape. With those mistakes out of the way, we're ready to start prepping this for final assembly. And in order to do that, I have to remove all of these tabs from the two components that have them. After I do that, I'm going to sand these to 220 grit, give or take, and round over the edges that I want to round over. So let's fast forward through there so we can get to the final assembly process. Now that I'm looking at these components, I realize that I made yet another mistake. This component right here, which is the front of the shelf and was carved within the main panel, should have been a mirror image. So off camera, I went and I made this. As you can see, they are opposites of each other. So now that's fixed and we can get to work. Just know that all the files that I have for sale down below will have all these fixes made to them before you purchase them. So let me make all the mistakes. But now let's get back to sanding and finishing. So during that montage, I went ahead and finished this bottom panel by adding the back rails, the shelf components, as well as the French cleats. Those were all put together using glue and screws, and everything went together smoothly, so that's a good sign. I also went ahead and added a few coats of spray lacquer to all of my components, sanding in between coats to make sure that everything is nice and smooth. Since this is just shop furniture, I'm not really that concerned about the finish, but I did want to make sure that it's protected. With all of those components sanded and finished, we are almost ready to start hanging this on the wall, but first we need to assemble this spring lever, so let me show you how I'm going to do that. In addition to the parts that we carved on the CNC, we'll also need 2 compression screws, 2 1/4-inch dowels, as well as 2 wooden dowels with small nails secured about 1/2 inch up from the bottom. These dowels are about 1 3/4 inch in length. In order to make those dowels, I used my vise to secure it in place while I drilled the hole before securing the nail in place with some CA glue. That nail only needs to be long enough to secure the spring from sliding down out the side. So it should look like that. Once that's done, the washer is going to go over the top of the spring, and then that whole piece is secured in the bottom of our handle like that. And we're going to do that on both sides, if this will go in. There we go. So it should look like this. Once those are in place, we're going to put some CA glue into these 2 holes and place this on there, securing it in place. Just make sure that you do not glue this piece to that bottom piece, because that will be very bad. Make sure that you hold this down in the bottom and then kind of hammer it in place like that after you put the CA glue in. So let's go ahead and do that now. Once that handle is assembled, we just insert it into the front writing surface and screw it into place using the 4 provided holes that we carved on the CNC earlier. And one thing to note here is make sure that those are countersunk so that this is smooth, so when it rides on the back surface, it doesn't scratch it. Now, as you can see, if I pull the handle, it pulls them through the board. So now let's go attach this to our main panel. So to assemble the main panel, I'm just going to clean off this back surface right here. This is going to go in the front right here, and I'm going to lay it down over the edge so that I can hold this flat. This will sit right in the slot that we provided for it. And then we can lay the back writing surface over the top and through those holes right there and drill it into place using 7 1/2-inch screws. Looks good so far. Let's go get this thing attached to the wall. So when it comes to attaching this to the wall, I guess it depends on your shop and what you're adding it to. Since I'm adding this to a hollow door, I am going to use some wall anchors. I'm not actually sure if I even need them, but I'll do it just to be safe. And where you want to hang it height-wise depends on your preference. I think I'm going to do it right about there, maybe a little higher. Totally up to you, but let's see what I can do with this thing. We're going to start with this top panel. Secure it using 5 screws, 1 in the middle here and then 1 in the corners. And then we're going to add the bottom panel using 4 more screws, 2 of which will go completely through this piece into the door. So let's hope it works. So this thing is attached to the door, and I'm extremely satisfied with how it looks and functions. While I was attaching it, the only thing of note is I ended up using some sheet metal screws, so I didn't end up using those anchors I was talking about, but it's very secure to the wall. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I mean, that's just a door moving. And I'm pretty confident I can put a lot of weight on these French cleats once I decide to put tools there, even though I'm not really planning on putting anything heavy on them. In terms of how the sliding mechanism works, I think it's pretty awesome. I think my tolerances were pretty right on, and it slides extremely easy. It's not going to fall down in its up position. You can hear it snap into place, and yeah, I'm extremely happy with how it came out. So that's all I got for this video. Once again, if you like this channel, please hit the subscribe button, especially if you made it this far in the video. I really appreciate it. And if you want to build this yourself on your CNC machine, the plans are down below. See you next time.